you enjoyed the top 10 as well as that vocab. Jay, I'm getting older. I'm a father. I don't even know what people are saying nowadays, but here we go. Optic, Texas, Minnesota Rokkr. The king is going for a swim off the rip and what will be his final season opener. Here we go, buddy.
We got two players going for a swim. Look at the route that Shotzi just hit to get all the way behind Dome. He finds that first kill. Minnesota are going to start off with this initial time, but Shotzi already causing problems. The spawns are now going to flip. Optic thinking big picture early on, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Only 4 seconds off of this P1, but Optic, great job of flipping those spawns for P2.
And that's just the annoying part, right? If you're Rokkr, man, in that situation, you start off with preferred spawns, a few water routes get hidden, and just like that, things start to flip on their head. However, on the opposite side, it's Minnesota. Spawns flip. That's okay. They're still walking away with those seconds. By the way, take a look at the bottom right side of your screen. We've got one player from Minnesota that is narrowly snuck behind enemy lines. It's going to be Afro. Caught out, hunted, and dropped. Rokkr 22-0 start. Optic Texas with spawns.
Optic Texas do have spawns, but these spawns can be very, very sticky if you start losing a couple of these gunfights. But that's going to be 3 dead in the feed. Full control right now in favor of Optic Texas. Now it's on Minnesota. How do we want to set up on this break? We're going to send 2 through Dome side. Going to send 2 to Broken. We just have to start off with that initial gunfight, and Vance finds the first.
It's really just a matter of waves. Great work from Bant. That's going to be 2. Afro with the 3rd. The SMG duo doing great work. Take a look at the player cam. Jay Afro, he's just having a ball. Not with not a single carry in the world. Afro and Bants are lighting them up.
Final 20. Finally, Afro's going to be able to get taken down. But now if you're Optic, you have to run all the way across the map to try to win some rotation gunfights. With Minnesota, they will have the lead. Not for long, as Optic are going to take it right back with that full setup for that P3. You see how far pushed up they are towards Dome. Full control on this left side. Knowing that Optic are consistently spawning in towards the back. Trace going back and forth, and that's a big kill right there from Shotzi to find that nade kill. Now they can attack this from the front.
Yeah, that opens things up for Optic Texas. Not a great start for your primary ARs on this Optic Texas team. However, tried and true, they roam to the front. Vance as well, somewhat paused, but it's okay. Rokkr, they're just composed. That's how we're going to label it. If you jump in from the front side, but Rokkr ultimately will walk away with the trades. Job done. And ultimately, Jay, it comes back to that last kill that we saw. Rokkr do a great job, and they continue to punish the boys in green on the other side of the map now.
And this is where you have to just cut your losses right now if you're Optic. You do not want to be aggressive on this and potentially flip these spawns. But they do get a couple kills out towards middle courtyard. 5 P1. They're still trying to not give up all this time. They know that their teammates have the spawns for next. Can they try to get them off of this remaining time? So they would not put themselves in a hole down 40, but currently a 30-point game. All about this rotation towards P4. Scup finds another one with the M4. Great kill from him, but Minnesota fully set up.
It's a little weird, man, to see Scup right with the AR in his hands. Who knows how long the M4 will be with us, but at least in the short term, it's cool to see that man go back to the roots. AR currently working out quite well for multiple players right now on Optic Texas as they hunker down here at the trail. This is P4 down by just a slim margin, especially if we're talking about hydroelectric. They can definitely start to get back in this game. Player 6 yet again in Afro trying to hit the long route. We'll see if it pans out for him. Ultimately handled and dealt with. Nice wave cleared there out of Texas.
This has been a great hold so far from Optic. Even with them giving up that dome control, they maintain Broken the entire time. They're basically leaving Vance to himself. You're not going to take us off this point. We're not going to contest it. We're going to be able to get this full 60, take the lead right on back. And you're already seeing the mini-map. Look at what shots he's doing. He works his way all the way through low water. He's going to be behind that P4 hard point. I mean, P5, which is going to be generators. What does he do to these spawns? Look at where they're spawning all the way at red. So now you get the information if you're Cammy that some player is in the back.
Honestly, Jay, I'm seeing new parts of hydroelectric that I just haven't seen yet. Like, I'm looking about how far back that you can go, and just like that, spawns will flip from Optic. They jump on in, and take a look at that feed now, partner.
Beautiful break right there from Optic. It all sets the tone right there with Shotzi. Once he takes that map control of the back, you allow your teammates to get a little bit more aggressive. They win every single gunfight in the feed. That's another 3 dead. You have Shotzi again in that position, all the way pushed out towards P1, forcing them all to consistently spawn behind Broken. Minnesota have not been able to get a kill for quite some time. Look at the team tree right now from Optic.
That is a 12-team streak granted right now for the boys of Optic Texas. And really, buddy, it just comes off that one play. Like, that's what we're talking about. In MW2, on this map specifically, you hit one route and take a look at what it does to the score. The early success Granson from Minnesota Rokkr as the first of the rotations come to a close. It is all but over. As now we fly back toward P1. Minnesota saw a decent amount of success this time when we started off on the first side. We'll see if they can do it again as both teams back and forth we go, trying to keep track of where everyone is. We'll also try to hold on to those spawns as well.
Oh, well, Optic, they did a great job of just hitting that route. The combination of Shotzi and Dashy were able to trade that gunfight in towards the back of P2. Now they have the favorable side. Now, if you're Optic, you just don't want to give up a lot of time to allow Minnesota to get back into this game. Final 30 seconds. Shotzi with the route. Able to find one. Able to find two. Know that a player is going to be towards top dome. Dashy finds one. They still know that Bear's at top dome. Shotzi's not going to give it up. He's going to go for the chow. He gets all three. What a route from Shotzi.
Routes, and more routes. Shotzi going off right now for the squad. The M4 in hand, and they are looking primed and pure. Currently in this game, let's step aside and go through a listing with Optic Texas.
Yeah, I'm trying to bump low. Now push
I can top. You see, stand up.
Go slane dead.
I got needed.
Yo, buy me time. We might flip. Wait.
Yo, one's
top still. Top him on you. Hurt. He jumped down. He jumped down. He's left side dead. Yo, front afro. Low dome. I'm on.
Watch
in front. Low dome in middle.
Yo, hold the one guy. Lay down. We're guys top castle, Cammy. Top castle.
Hold this one guy. Top castle cam. One shot. I naded top castle.
I'm
needed. I got naded in the back.
Yeah,
he's on time.
Okay, so
we might flip.
Oh shit. Hit the roll there.
Yep. I naded it. I'm nading all with you guys.
I'm already top boulder.
I need it. He should be dead. Yo, I hit in the right corner.
I'm good.
I'm in the top dome. Dead.
Yo, one guy's lane. Watch
I can go top. I can go top for you guys.
I'm gonna take a long ass right left here. Alright?
I went top rocks and ripping for you guys. I don't see anything outside.
Yeah, I can buff you in a second.
I don't see shit, guys. I don't see shit. Let me know when you can bump me.
I'm going all the way around.
Okay, bump me in mid lane.
Can you bump me?
Top up window. He's not challenging. Top up window. Mid lane right now. He's laying down close left.
I'm pushing the back right now.
He's laying down close left mid lane. Mid lane.
We're gonna stop.
I saw mid lane.
One deep back on the engine.
He's here. Top, he's top 100%.
One back right engine. Just try to flip the water up in front.
Overall, man, I tell you what, really nice check-in there with Optic Texas. Deal with a bit of adversity, but still in the driver's seat when we talk about this opening game number 1 here on Hydro. One voice that's especially nice to hear, Jay, though, is going to be Illy. Back in this squad, they rely on him so much as they try to go for the break. Minnesota handle business. But as we said, man, those comms out of Optic Texas, fiery as ever.
Yeah, comms, especially in this game overall, better be on point because there's no red dots on your mini map. So you got to make sure you're keeping track of players, knowing exactly where everyone is, how you want to break it. Everything right there was on the right side for Optic Texas. Just unfortunately, they couldn't execute a break. A full 60 hold right there from Minnesota to get themselves right back into this game. 10-point game. You see the water routes already coming in from Bance. Dashy trying to be the player to watch it, but Optic are going to be initially off the start.
Take a look at good old Benjamin Bance, Mr. Sneaky. Okay, hold on. Okay,
can't shoot.
There is no way that he manages to just slyly stay under the water like that. This is absolutely interesting, to put it lightly, my friend. Water battles after water battles. We got routes being hit. Optic Texas just a few moments away from reaching that double century mark. However, the new addition in Afro had a pop-off moment earlier. We'll see if he can provide us with another one yet again as Minnesota continue to have that door slammed in their face. And there goes Marcus as well.
Oh, big kill right there from Attach, though, to catch Shotzi off that rotation, because Shotzi, so far this map, he's been the route man. Every single time they're looking for a player, Shotzi's the guy that's breaking their setup. So it's good to take care of him right off the rip. 50-point game currently. Minnesota fully set up for this P5 generator hill. Optic trying to attack this from front. You have one player in Illy, already hops up through side water. He gets taken care of. So now all of Minnesota, they know where the pressure's coming from. All they have to do is just pre-aim up, hold your irons, get your kills.
How many times have we heard players say that in scrims so far throughout the season, Jay? Hold your irons, right? They can't really slide anymore. I mean, I guess Shotzi probably still can, but okay. 2 responded either which direction is Afro and Cammy trying to hold it down for the squad. Scump's still here. A few close spawns from Optic Texas are granted, so they are right back in business. First wave cleared from Rokkr, but an accidental team kill ends up working out in a trade. Minnesota still with time, and Shotzi's eyeing up what could be a route with Eddie.
Yeah, this is big 20 seconds. Big 20 seconds for Optic Texas to pick this up, knowing that they're going into a P1. They don't have the favorable side towards Dome. But Illy, Already hitting his best. Michael Phelps swimming his way through every single one of these bottom rock tunnels. Attached does find a kill, but Illy's going to be the guy to watch. You have one player in Vance going to be the guy to pick him up. He does exactly that. So Minnesota take care of the guy that's going to potentially break their setup. But now no one's watching left. You can attack this from middle alley if you're Optic.
That's exactly what they're going to do, Jay. They're thinking long term. They're thinking, but trying to make the long route happen. Nice little dive up there from Shotzi. Hello, peekaboo. Goes right back in the water. Just 8 more seconds needed still from Optic. They've got somebody in the hard point. Closest player there is going to be number 8 in Cammy. Shotzi lined up and ready to go. A few more seconds, and this one is done. Optic Texas walk away with a solid I'm not gonna lie, I'm rocking LA Thieves right now myself, just you know, for a few different reasons. Anyway, we'll go and toss that to a side. Game 2, search, destroy, loaded and ready to go. It's actually Illy who's gonna have that sniper here off the start. Rokkr kicking things off here on the attack, and it's not just one snipe, it's gonna be 2. Embassy, lots of long lines of sight. Both teams utilizing that to their advantage. Attach strikes first. Texas able to bring it now to a 3v3.
Make it into a 3v3, and right off the rip, you saw Minnesota. No one was crossing B. They're not going to give up anything. They're going to fight this through office side, through bathrooms, through hallways. Try to at least work a pick. They find the first kill onto Shotzi. Great shots from Vance to take down Scump, forces it into a 3v2. So now this opens up the map for them a little bit. They can decide to cross towards A, knowing that Illy is the player with the sniper. But not every single angle is going to be covered. You just want to get some information. Afro does exactly that. Now it's a 3v1 on the opposite side.
And you can see really for Dashy and Illy, they're just trying to contain this Rokkr trio over toward the tennis court. You had one on one side, one on the other, and now they may look to try and group on up. Illy, but sneaking his way through, is going to get the better of Bance. And now we've got ourselves a 2v2, 35 seconds on the clock, and here comes Dead Silence.
Dead Silence, a big play for Illy. He's trying to work his way through back planners. You know how it's safe. They're going to play towards office. He gets taken down. Now it's all up to Dashy. He does find Afro. So now in the 1v1, he does have Dead Silence right back in his pocket.
Only problem, though, is where Cammy happens to be hiding right now. He knows where it's planted for. He's got to be toward top office, toward top PD. Cammy is going to know the timing, goes for the challenge, and unfortunately there for Dashy. I mean, pokes out for a second, and how about the snipe coming in from Cammy? We have to watch this one again. Put some style on this final kill cam.
Beautiful jump shot. Nice shot right there from Cammy. Beautiful offensive route right there from Minnesota. No one crosses. They find that first blood. They keep the numbers in their advantage. Eventually, they get the bomb down, turn it into a 2v2, but Afro finds that big kill onto Illy, at least forces it to a 1v1. And Cammy had all he has to do at that point, simply just play the clock. Only about 15 seconds left. You know Dashy is definitely going to be looking for that kill. Wastes enough time to eventually hit that jump shot, secure the first round.
Be attached, watching the cross. Cammy as well. We've got double snipers right now for Rokkr. Afro with the M4 in hand. It is all long-range weaponry, and Afro is cleaning up 2. Nearly makes it a 3rd, says a nade, says a prayer. Nearly has that hat trick to quickly start off this round number 2. And speaking of 2J, that is all that Optic Texas have left.
2v4. Bomb is going to be down towards that sign area. You know that Afro is super aggressive, at least towards your planners. What kind of information can Illy pick up with this snipe in hand? Afro's ready for the gunfight. Can't Illy hit the shot? He spot the leg. Unfortunately, Afro with the better angle. Gives him 3 on the round. Attached with the great positioning towards white bands. And Minnesota Rokkr, so far looking flawless in the search and destroy. It was all about the aggression right there in towards orange. You know how aggressive you need to be towards B, because if you get that bomb down immediately, it's very, very difficult to try to retake it. Afro says, nope, not going to give you guys a shot. Pushes right through orange, finds that first blood onto shots and trying to get bomb down. Does not stop the aggression, gets Dashy. Also gets Illy on the round to give him the hat trick. Great defensive round right there from Minnesota.
It is the World Cup, you know, time after all.
It is the World Cup.
Trick, all kinds of different soccer references. I know I said soccer. It is what it is. By the way, I called out 2 snipers in that last round. I think it was actually just 1. My bad. Attach with that M4 in hand. Honestly, in his hands, it looks like a sniper from time to time. Cammy tagged up, but not dropped yet. Texas, really, Jay, just looking to find some bit of semblance when it comes down to this S&D, they have not been able to strike a W so far to kick off this game, as they are all colluded really toward that middle side. Cammy's still with sniper in hand. Scott, no big deal. Doesn't have to look at explosions. He's cool like that. Still hanging out. Snipers ring out. Same thing can be said for the tacticals. Vance nearly takes a tumble. Yet for anybody to strike, that quickly changes. First blood to Rokkr.
Big first blood to take down Illy. Now at least gets the position. You know what? The sniper is going to be down, but do they know the positioning of Shotzzy? He did pop his dead silence to get in this position. He's going to be able to cause some problems. Finds the first. Going to go for the challenge on the second. And that's what Shotzzy does best. 2v2.
He also tosses out a stun. Make sure that he's checked. Cammy right around the corner. Shotzzy really doing this all by himself. I have no idea how he is still alive. By the way, 10 seconds left. Minnesota have got to get moving. Bomb is going to be planted down successfully. Attached with some great cover fire. It is all going to be on to Shotzzy. It started with him, and it's going to have to end with him. An ace needed. 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds. That silence is about to get activated. He does have it to work with. Just going to pop it. Know that at least a player is going to be sitting towards top AC. Goes for the chow. Cannot win the gunfight onto Cammy, which started off as a great round for Optic Texas, especially when Shotzzy gets that positioning. Minnesota do not worry at all. They even up the numbers, make it a 2v2. You basically flop the side of the map, because usually when you're planning towards B, you want to maintain office control. They planted on the back side this time. Attacks works his way back towards top steps, towards back office, finds that kill onto Dashy. And then at that point, it's a very difficult round to run if you're Shotzzy, even if you have the dead silence pop. They have the crossfire set up. Minnesota definitely coming out on point in search and destroy.
Yeah, we expect this team to be great in this mode. Optic Texas, one of our best in Vanguard. Not looking like it right now. Dolphin dives are inbound. Thankfully for Shotzzy, he is able to escape, but Cammy continues to be a nuisance. Shots exchanged either way, and how about Shotzzy, man? He dolphin dives through tennis, plants the bomb down, and now finds himself at the backside of the opposition. Rokkr quickly having to turn around. Thankfully for them, they have, in fact, found not just that first blood, but they're also on the defuse. Optic Texas has no eyes at this bomb, and before they even know it, Rokkr are there, and this round is over.
Minnesota just played that beautifully once again. Cammy gets the information of where Illy is. They know that Shotzzy already crosses on bomb. Pretty sure Banch just drops strictly from top AC right onto the bomb site towards corner of sign and just sticks that defuse. But I think the most important kill that really happened right there was the way that Cammy just finessed Shotzzy. He knew that Shotzzy was spraying and praying from that bottom back alley and not pick up the kill. And eventually, he doesn't have a pistol to work with. Eventually, he has to go for that reload, challenges it at the perfect time, takes him down. They stick the defuse, and Minnesota Rokkr just dominating so far in this S&D.
It just feels a little unorganized right now from Texas. Rokkr off to an excellent start to the search and destroy, 4-0, and there is another first blood. Just thankfully for Illy, able to put that sniper to good use. Lots of different snipers on the map, by the way. MCPR currently the one that the Pope happens to be rocking. Cammy ever so carefully.
Oh my,
he is slipping and sliding right now.
My God.
Oh, the timing. Oh, Illy, give it to him. Only problem is that Optic again, Jay, are down in numbers. Illy's got to make a jaunt and a half just to get here in time.
All that time he just wasted to get that kill on Cammy. Both of his teammates dropped. So now in a 1v2 with 30 seconds, does not have that silence to work with. They're going to hear exactly where you're coming from. He's trying to time it. Finds that first kill onto Afro. He's thinking that the player's going to be towards top office, and Bance is playing this beautifully.
Who knows about the timing, though? Who knows about the timing? Bance creeps around the corner. Illy, I mean, tell you what, man, he had the right strategy in mind considering where that bomb was planted, but Minnesota, it is just picture perfect work. Like we're like you said, we're talking about Illy. He's trying to snipe Cammy. Like there's a situation going on. Meanwhile, all of Illy's teammates have already been eliminated, and these have been not just great rounds, but fast rounds at that.
They're just making the adjustments on the fly. Right now, Optic, they don't have any information to work with. No one's crossing towards B right off the rip. No one's peeking doors. No one's peeking windows. it's just very difficult for them to try to stay alive on defense because Minnesota, they're just picking them apart. One round away from Minnesota closing out in a flawless 6-0.
Got to feel confident right now if you're Minnesota. I mean, for God's sake, you're up 5-0. You've played it picture perfect. Shotzi once again for the fast plant. Did not see this strategy work out earlier. However, trying to maintain his life. Brought down to 20 HP. Thankfully, he's got a little bit of cover fire right now from the squad mates. Attach, who's been on that cross since the start of the game, continues to hold it down. Okay, Shotzi once again alive for only a moment. Now called upon by Dashi. They have still to defend that bomb site. Now going to be a 2 versus 3. Now make it a 1v3 for the map. Illy wasn't able to clutch it out last time. Can he do it this time? Not going to be the case. A perfect 6-0 reply in search and destroy out of the Minnesota Rokkr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we
in Call of Duty right now. So this is a main focus for Minnesota. You have to make sure you're shutting this player down. And then on the opposite side, just the way the Afro has been playing so far, that's a guy that you have to make sure you're keeping track, because you do not want to go 4 dead on your attacking rounds or defensive rounds, because then you're basically going to be in a trap.
Yeah, man. Like we said, when you take a look at the bottom left of your screen, that mini map where the arrows are running through, there is a lot of open space when it comes down to this bad boy for sure. The heat maps all focused in here toward that middle building. But here we go into the opening round number 1 here for Minnesota Rokkr. Trying to start things off well here on the attack. And really right now, Jay, kind of feels a little bit like a search destroy round. Like you got your first blood. Now you're trying to figure out which part of the map that you want to go to. It seems like right now for Minnesota, they're eyeing up that B zone.
And finally, Afro decides to attack. He was just sitting patiently towards that top plat, but unfortunately, he gets taken down by Scump. Last player closest to a point is going to be Itachi. He has to now get out with his life. And you see at the minimap, look at the positioning Vance is able to take towards top radio tower. Is going to allow his teammates to try to push up towards A. He is going to get sniffed out, though. He just has to try to play his life here, but the nade comes over the top. 25 seconds, and not a single segment has been touched.
Yeah, this is an excellent start right now here out of Optic, Texas. Attach at least trying to get something going. Spring a little bit of life here into this Rokkr attacking side as they've got a few members off spawn to try to deal with. First member, that's going to be cleaned up. Scump hits the deck. Back to the respawn he goes. Cammy able to stop the time, though. Once you're in that objective in control, the time does pause. It's all about those ticks. 3 per zone. If you're able to capture an entire objective, you get an extra minute added on to the round. I tell you what, Jay, so far from what we've seen on this on El Estilo, I don't think 1 tick's gonna do it. Rokkr struggling.
They're struggling to get out of their base. Optic keep trading efficiently. Finally, 1 player attached this spot that opening kill, but the trade should come in right now from Scump. So he gets taken down, and at least for now, Minnesota are able to stop that clock. Look at the spawns right now for Optic Texas, consistently spawning over towards Cliff. So if you are Minnesota, let's get a little stack going on. That's exactly what's going to happen. The second segment is going to be done. The third is about to be done as well. Not unless Illy has something to say about it. At least he gets in a contest spot for now.
This is a big moment. Optic Texas, they can clear the wave right here, solidify the round themselves, but it's Afro walking away with a big double kill, and just like that, another minute added on to the clock. And based off of how much time was left, they definitely needed it. 3 ticks at the back of Minnesota, and now all eyes come in toward that B zone. And this is what we talk about on El Estilo. You got to be careful, considering where Optic is spawning right now, Jay.
Yeah, this is a scary scene. The last player closest to the point is going to be Illy. All you have to do is take care of him, but Illy actually finds 1. So now only 2 players pushed up from Minnesota on this point. Optic do a great job of just trading efficiently. Last player up is going to be Cammy. He does complete the first segment. He does find 2. He's going to stall enough time for his teammates to get back into the play. And just look at where Optic are spawning all the way across the map. They have to try to get back quick.
Over in Narnia, basically, trade still favoring Minnesota. However, and this is dire. Quite quickly, if you are Optic Texas, Dashi doing everything he can, trying to put that prior control KD to good usage, and he does. It's his life that has to be sacrificed, but you will take that trade every day of the week. Dashi, the hero in that team fight, as Minnesota on the scramble now have to make their way toward that objective. Just a little bit more to go. The time is going to be paused. Watch that zone begin to fly. Dashy once again, able to find one. Dashy once again for two. Vance has found his way on the flank. Can he jump in here, get a toe in? Not going to happen.
Wow.
A solid job from Rokkr at the end, but it is Dashy coming up clutch to save the round.
That's unbelievable. How did it allow Dashy to do that? That was a 1v3. The rest of Optic were all spawning all the way in the back by that building. Dashy just finds the first kill from top party and then jumps down, challenges two players from green fence and gets both of them. That's what eventually allows Optic to get back into this play. What a game round saving play right there from Dashy to secure the first defensive round on El Asilo.
A much needed one at that. Again, you did give away 5 ticks, but still,
that's tough.
You'll see that 1-0 scoreline regardless and be pretty proud of it, considering how things did end up starting, as though Optic will take their first whack at the attacking side. And no surprise, going to be taking a look at that A zone, what is expected to be the easier one of the two here on El Asilo.
Trying to attack it towards A, because look at the spawns coming in from Minnesota all the way towards Cliffside, but they do have a potential pitch coming along, as Illy's going to go for the challenge onto attach. Fortunately, Vance is able to assist in that gunfight. So they take him off A. Now, if you're Minnesota, you want to try to maintain map control. Try to get your SMG players to roam around towards bottom mid and also stay alive on every single side of the map. But they take down attach. Now the progression towards A is going up.
And you'll see as well, right? When it comes down to the top side of your map, Minnesota Rokkr aware of the fact that, hey, this objective probably not going to be ours. We'll send a few players to try and slow it down. Afro at least successful. Hey, you know, he gets a little poke in. Tee-hee, no big deal. We'll give that objective away. But as I said, Minnesota trying to get to that building that we call green basically acts as a checkpoint for them and really can mess up the spawns for Optic Texas as well. Really, their biggest lifeline right now happens to be player number 8 in Cammy.
Yeah, this is where it gets difficult, though, because the map is so damn big. You have to check so many corners to try to eliminate everyone from these positions. But Cammy right now, he's the guy that's influencing these spawns for Optic to consistently spawn over towards that yellow side. That's why you see Dashy just slowly trying to play for him. Eventually, the dead silence is going to be earned. They know that Cammy's on this side of the map. Big kill if you can get it, but nope. Cammy just plays it like a rat, finds the kill onto Dashy, maintains the map control, now continuously forcing Optic to overextend.
This is great work from Cammy, and he also manages to stay alive. Best part for him, really, is his job's pretty simple, Jay. You know, teammates are slaying out. I'm just going to hang out in here. You know what? It may not be the cleanest room in the world. Should the mattresses, does the mattress smell kind of weird? Yeah, but at least we're playing pretty well. At least we're keeping the round alive for the moment. Attach and Afro continue to be problems. A few close spawns, though. Now it's going to make things a little bit more difficult there for Cammy. All 4 players up close and personal, as he eventually does get sandwiched out. Afro dealt with as well, and here comes the boys in green.
Yeah, Optic trying to attack this from front side field. They're finding every single player on their side of the spawn. So with now 40 seconds left, they're finally able to touch on B. Stop this clock for the time being. But it's all about picking up these kills from now on. If you can get a clean 4 dead, the round is basically yours. As long as the kills stay stagnant, that's exactly how Minnesota wanted to be played. As Vance and Cammy, they're able to find 2. So now 30 seconds left. Farthest player pushed up is going to be Dashy. This is going to be tough. Can Dashy pull off one of those miracle 3 pieces again?
Absolutely possible. As we said, number 1 control KD last year, called upon to hit the beams. Somewhat successful. Vance battered, but ultimately stays alive. Good teamwork there out of Rokkr. Hilly, maybe one last push, ready and prepared. He's ready to hit the hot flank and hope that his teammates can actually join him. But again, it is the cover fire from Minnesota, as this round will come to a halt. And take a look at that team spree. I think that is 11 in a row as a squad. Rokkr end out round number 2 in style.
That was just great work from Minnesota. Even though they lost A pretty early on into the round, they maintained map control the entire time. It took about a minute for Optic Texas to clear out Cammy in towards green for them to fight for that side. And they had a great push going on when they found every single kill. Each of one of those players on Minnesota trying to set up that pinch play. But then once they got pushed up, the kills just didn't go in their favor. Minnesota stayed on top. They made sure they maintained that BS&D map control. And once you do that, you're consistently spawning on towards cliff. So even more difficult task for Optic Texas to try to get that break. Minnesota tie it up, and it's currently 5-3 to segment. So if you are Minnesota, you're currently in the lead.
Really in the lead, and one of the best parts about that is Cammy has got some streaks to work with on Elasilo as well. My goodness. I could definitely cause some problems, Jay. Do it with your chest, baby. Baby, love that. I love that. And right now, Rokkr is 2. Here comes the precision airstrike, possibly from Ban. I don't know whether he's just earned it. My apologies. I thought he was getting ready to rock that thing. And very well may have been a great spot to do it in up close and personal fights. Man, it's not going to be his day, at least for that one. Minnesota come out in their opening break, and at least are able to grab now one, possibly the second tick. Attached, tagged up, and bagged up. Good work here from Texas to hold him back.
And now Skunk finds himself in that green position. Now you're forcing all of Minnesota to consistently spawn at yellow. This is exactly how Optic want to play it. Another 2 dead in the feed, basically putting them in a trap. Trade goes down, 3 dead. Now everyone all spawn. Now it's all on Skunk, because now they're trying to clear him out, but he's able to find 2. This is utter domination right now from Optic.
Goodness.
They're keeping them in the trap. Finally, Cammy gets 1.
Well, they've got them in the full Nelson. Shotsy, gotta be careful. Gotta reload that Vaznev. It's a bad timing there. At least one Minnesota player has managed to make his way forward. Okay, he gets dropped. We get it, Optic Texas. You're pretty talented. Dashy puts in a few bullets. 23 seconds on the clock. Minnesota. And hey, round number 1, they started off really slow, managed to get things going. Optic with a great little moment to kick off this round number 3. Afro comes away with a crucial double, and that could set things up. Gonna play a little bit of S&D here for a moment. Everything comes to a standstill for just a second. Another member from Minnesota is going to be on that point. Slowly but surely, the A zone continues to creep up.
Yeah, second tick is about to come in. The way you want to try to break this, you have to take that Afro off top radio, and that's exactly what Illy does. Great shots from him. Now the pinch is going to be there. They're not going to allow Minnesota to close out this 8 point. 10 seconds away from the second defensive round for Optic Texas. Trying to secure. One player is actually going to sneak through all the way to B. Optic's doing a great job of just finding every single kill on the opposite side, but 0.0 on the clock. Afro's able to stop it.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no time.
No time
at all. It was a nice effort there from Afro, but to be honest, Jay, I saw the overall lives available. I think it was like 20-7. So, you know, you could have maybe got a tick, you know, had a little moment there at the end, but just tell you what, an absolute dominant slaying performance here from Optic Texas. And again, on Elasilo, you're expected to get a few ticks basically every offense. So really, in general, a nice little round number 3. Was it only 2 ticks for Minnesota overall?
So right now it puts it at 7-3. So if you're Optic Texas, let's just make sure we close out one of these points, because so far they've been looking great on their defensive rounds, so they could potentially have that going into round number 5.
Both teams flexing that slaying talent. Team streaks for either side. Optic Texas coming to this one. A decent one themselves. Maybe some streaks could be in their future. Cammy starts things off nicely. Shotsy, you know what? It's a door. Let's just slam through it. And know we're going to be here anyway. It's still early on. Pause that time. Peekaboo manages to drop him. Great work from Texas here off the rip. Third person cleared. And already, Jay, this could be curtains at that A zone, unless, I guess, attach could do something.
Nah, yeah, it's basically curtains, especially the second ticket's about to come in. They have the double stack going. You have one player in Afro trying to set up that late pinch to work his way in towards bottom pool, but A is now going to be done and dusted. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to work with. Optic up by 1 life. They need 1 segment, 2 segments to at least guarantee themselves defense, as they're still currently down 1. They tie, it comes down to kills, but you see the position right now. Skunk, he's trying to play for some spawn kills. Unfortunately, Bance pulls out the TAC 56, able to rip him off top party.
And the TAC 56 making its debut, and understandably so, on a map like this one. Lots of long lines of sights, as we said. So many far spawn points. You really put that bad boy to good usage. By the way, shout out to our observers highlighting Illy, trying to make the play on the flank. He's done this a few different times, and Jay, if he can get to this part of the map, this could be very problematic for Minnesota Rokkr. He's not only influencing the spawns, but he also has the cross. Tagged up Cammy, at least gives that information over to his teammates. And really, once he finds that kill, he eventually does get evaporated. Attack coming in from Bance is able to clear out the base for the moment.
Yeah, that was tough right there for Illy, because he found himself in a great position, but at the same time, all of his teammates dropped, so he was the only player on that side of the map. Once he gets 1 kill, everyone else is just going to turn around, take him down, knowing that they are maintaining map control once again. But Optic, they're able to slip on through, find a couple kills, get on this B point, stop the clock for the time being. But now your main focus is eliminating Afro from this green position, because he's going to cause you problems.
Also sitting on some streaks as well. Great little spree, 6 in a row right now from Afro. You can see Minnesota Rokkr are quite rich when we talk about streaks for the moment. What will be, and looks to be, possible round number 5. Rokkr still a job to do. Optics glanced at that B zone. They've had a few moments of opportunity, and now could be their time to strike. Great calls. The precision causes some issues. Shotzzy, he flies away from El Asilo, all but a distant afterthought now. 25 seconds still left. Optic Texas, one last good push at this, Jay.
This is the last good push, and look at the player on your minimap, Scump. Look at his positioning right now towards bottom ammo. He's able to find that first kill onto attach, but Afro with the trade is going to keep the kill stagnant. Optic just have to hop on this point. Stop that clock. Only 10 seconds away from this round, getting away from them.
See if they can pull off something special. Shotzzy's at least able to find one. Scump for the second. And here we go. They have to get on that point. They have to dive on in. They're in at 0.1. Shotzzy is able to win the fight. He's got a few members here alongside of him. And that's what we talk about. That's what we talk about. The long spawn. It's a Hail Mary nade from Rokkr, as they will be able to hold on. They got a little bit worrisome there for a moment, Jay, like we saw at LSU.
Yeah.
Minnesota are over in Narnia, but that one nade that manages to just land in where it does is going to allow for us to see a round number 5.
Such a crucial nade, because keep in mind, if Shotzi's running a trophy right there, Minnesota probably do not get the break. But that nade comes in, takes down Shotzi, which was the only player on that B point, stopping that clock. And they win the defense. Now, Minnesota, once again, are going to be on the defensive side going into this round number 5. Optic just have to try to find an answer for this B point. They're allowing Minnesota to fully contain bottom middle with their SMG just roaming around and basically maintain green for a majority of the time. They're wasting a lot of time just trying to find these players. So they're going to early on attack towards A, but you need to make sure you're maintaining that map control for B.
So they look to do it. These opening breaks, so important. Really for both sides, but especially Optic Texas here in this round number 5 on the offense. A little bruised and battered, but they made their way to the objective, and so far it is sunny skies. Despite a lovely little evening here on El Asilo. Scott prone on his belly, and the nade once again causing problems for Texas. And a trophy in sight. That one cleared out, and so far all you have is one tick to speak of.
One tick to speak of, and not really a lot of map control, because once again, Cammy in that position towards green.
Okay.
Forcing all of Optic to try to maintain or force their way in towards A. They're able to win the trade gunfights for now. Second tick is going to be done. It's looking like Minnesota potentially going to give this one up, and Cammy, he actually gives up his positioning towards green, so now that opens it up for Optic to try to wrap back and get it. But you see Minnesota, now with 2 minutes left, have to hold strong once again at this B point. Afro's just going to pop his dead silence, be a nuisance in an opponent's base.
Minute 45 on the clock. We call this mode game number 3, control the swing mode. Can sway these series so much at a current 1-1 scoreline. Optic Texas, 3 more ticks is what they're looking for. On the other side for Minnesota, clear them off, allow for that time to tick away. Both these teams trying to have the advantage coming into game number 4. Bance putting in a lot of work, a lot of damage through lockers. Ultimately, all those bullets not able to go through, however. Still decent map control. Got one player who could play spoiler here. Thankfully for attach, he's at least going to be aware of it. Player number 2 in Scump does find himself toward the flank. Some big positions right now for multiple Minnesota players, Jay. 1v1s that could define the round right here.
Oh, this big kill coming in from Scump. Now all you have to do is take this player out of green. Shotzi does a great job of just trading it. But now you have to find where Afro is. Afro's the player that can potentially break their setup. Scump right now is so far pushed up. Just trying to maintain this map control, able to stay alive right there. Versus attach. They can find these 2 players out of the bases is huge. Optic get on the point. The first segment is done.
First segment is there. Optic Texas, a picture perfect setup. They've got trophies, they've got the angles, but they don't have protection from the streak. Bance comes in out of nowhere. And attach is going to be able to find one himself. 2 players fall. It's all onto the king, but he's able to stay alive. He also is going to have a streak to work with by his lonesome inside of the garage. And here comes the cruise missile. What can he find? 30 seconds left. He's got attach his name written on it, but he's not able to find him. He's not able to find him, but Optic Texas will walk away with the round number 5.